From the woolly mammoths roaming prehistoric steppes to the dodo birds inhabiting the island of Mauritius, extinct species have long captivated our imaginations. But what if we could bring these lost creatures back from extinction? The idea of de-extinction is now a tantalizing possibility. Advances in genetics and biotechnology make it possible. Imagine woolly mammoths roaming the Arctic tundra again. This raises profound questions about our relationship with nature. De-extinction, the process of bringing extinct species back to life, relies on a suite of cutting-edge technologies that manipulate the very building blocks of life. Unlike the fantastical portrayals in movies like Jurassic Park, which envisioned extracting dinosaur DNA from preserved mosquitoes, real-world de-extinction efforts face more nuanced challenges. One promising approach involves gene editing, a technique that allows scientists to precisely alter the genetic makeup of living organisms. By comparing the genomes of extinct species, often extracted from well-preserved remains, to those of their closest living relatives, scientists can identify key genetic differences. Using tools like CRISPR-Cas9, they can then edit the genomes of living species to resemble those of their extinct counterparts. Another method, known as cloning, involves extracting the nucleus, which contains the genetic material, from a preserved cell of an extinct species and inserting it into an egg cell from a closely related living species. The egg, now containing the genetic material of the extinct species, is then implanted into a surrogate mother, with the hope that it will develop into a viable offspring. While these techniques hold immense promise, they are not without limitations. The success of de-extinction efforts depends on a number of factors, including the availability of well-preserved DNA, the complexity of the species' genome, and the availability of suitable surrogate mothers. Advocates for de-extinction argue that it could offer a powerful tool for conservation, scientific advancement, and even ethical redemption. By bringing back extinct species, we could potentially restore damaged ecosystems, gain invaluable insights into the evolution of life on Earth, and right the wrongs inflicted upon the natural world by past generations. The reintroduction of extinct species into their former habitats could have cascading effects on the entire ecosystem. For example, the return of woolly mammoths to the Arctic tundra could help to restore the region's grasslands, which play a crucial role in regulating the climate. These large herbivores could also help to control the growth of shrubs and trees, creating a more hospitable environment for other species. De-extinction could also lead to breakthroughs in our understanding of genetics, evolution, and conservation biology. By studying the genomes of resurrected species, we could gain insights into the genetic basis of their unique adaptations, their evolutionary history, and the factors that led to their extinction. This knowledge could then be applied to the conservation of endangered species and the restoration of damaged ecosystems. Furthermore, some argue that we have an ethical obligation to bring back extinct species that were driven to extinction due to human activities, such as hunting, habitat destruction, or climate change. De-extinction, in this view, represents an opportunity to atone for past mistakes and restore balance to the natural world. Despite the potential benefits, de-extinction is not without its detractors. Critics argue that it poses significant ecological risks, diverts resources from more pressing conservation efforts, and raises profound ethical concerns about our role in the natural world. One major concern is the potential for unintended consequences when introducing resurrected species into existing ecosystems. These species could become invasive, outcompeting native species for resources, or introducing new diseases. The reintroduction of a predator, for example, could have unforeseen ripple effects throughout the food web, potentially leading to the decline or even extinction of other species. Moreover, the resources required for de-extinction are vast. Critics argue that these funds would be better spent on conserving existing endangered species and protecting their habitats. They point out that we are currently facing a global biodiversity crisis, with countless species on the brink of extinction due to habitat loss, climate change, and other human-caused factors. Section 5. A world transformed, de-extinction and ecological impacts. The prospect of reintroducing extinct species into existing ecosystems raises a complex web of ecological questions. Ecosystems are dynamic and interconnected, and the arrival of a long-lost species could trigger a cascade of unpredictable consequences. Imagine the return of the woolly mammoth to the Arctic tundra. While some scientists believe their grazing could help restore the grasslands, others worry about the potential impact on existing plant and animal communities. Would mammoths outcompete other herbivores for food? Would their massive size and migratory patterns disrupt the delicate balance of the tundra ecosystem? The introduction of any species, extinct or otherwise, into a new environment carries inherent risks. Resurrected species could become invasive, spreading rapidly and outcompeting native species for resources. They could carry diseases to which existing populations have no immunity, potentially leading to widespread die-offs. The ecological impacts of de-extinction are difficult to predict with certainty, and careful risk assessments would be crucial before any reintroduction. Section 6. Ethical considerations, playing God or righting wrongs. Beyond the scientific and ecological considerations, de-extinction raises profound ethical questions about our relationship with nature and the limits of our technological prowess. Are we justified in attempting to resurrect extinct species, or are we overstepping our bounds and playing God? Some argue that de-extinction represents a form of ecological restoration, a way to atone for past mistakes and restore balance to ecosystems damaged by human activities. They believe that we have a moral obligation to bring back species that we drove to extinction, such as the passenger pigeon or the Tasmanian tiger. Others, however, caution against hubris. They argue that de-extinction could foster a false sense of control over nature, potentially leading to less urgency in our efforts to conserve existing species and habitats. They also question whether it is ethical to bring back species into a world vastly different from the one they evolved to inhabit. The ethical debate surrounding de-extinction is complex and multifaceted, with no easy answers. It requires careful consideration of our values, our responsibilities, and the potential consequences of our actions. Section 7. Expert Voices, a spectrum of perspectives on de-extinction. The scientific community is abuzz with debate about the merits and potential pitfalls of de-extinction. Leading experts hold a range of views, reflecting the complexity of this emerging field. Dr. Beth Shapiro, an evolutionary biologist and author of How to Clone a Mammoth, argues that de-extinction could be a valuable tool for conservation, particularly in cases where ecosystems have been profoundly altered by human activities. She believes that bringing back extinct keystone species could help to restore ecological balance and prevent further biodiversity loss. However, Dr. Stuart Pimm, a conservation ecologist at Duke University, expresses caution. He argues that the resources required for de-extinction would be better spent on protecting existing endangered species and their habitats. He also warns of the potential ecological risks associated with introducing resurrected species into existing ecosystems. Section 8. Weighing the scales, balancing the promise and peril of de-extinction. The allure of bringing back extinct species is undeniable. The prospect of witnessing the resurgence of these lost wonders, of righting past wrongs, and of pushing the boundaries of scientific knowledge is both exciting and daunting. However, as with any powerful technology, de-extinction demands careful consideration of its potential consequences. The ecological risks are real and potentially irreversible. The resources required are vast, and some argue they could be better spent on existing conservation efforts. And the ethical implications are profound, forcing us to confront our role in the natural world and the limits of our own ingenuity. The decision of whether or not to pursue de-extinction is not one to be taken lightly. It requires a nuanced understanding of the science, a thoughtful consideration of the risks and benefits, and a deep reflection on our ethical responsibilities. Ultimately, it is a decision that will shape the future of life on Earth, for better or for worse. Section 9. A Future with Ghosts. Our choice, our responsibility. We stand at a crossroads in our relationship with the natural world. The technologies of de-extinction offer us the tantalizing possibility of resurrecting lost species, of rewriting the narrative of extinction, and of shaping a future where the ghosts of the past walk among us. But this power comes with profound responsibility. As we venture into this uncharted territory, we must proceed with caution, guided by both scientific rigor and ethical reflection. The decisions we make today will determine not only the fate of extinct species, but also the legacy we leave for future generations. Will we choose to bring back the woolly mammoth, the passenger pigeon, the dodo bird? Or will we focus our efforts on protecting the incredible diversity of life that still exists, on preserving the delicate balance of ecosystems, and on ensuring that the future of life on Earth is one of resilience, not resurrection? The choice is ours, and the responsibility is ours alone.